the largest network footprint in New York State. We have 1.2 million customers. And I'm here to talk to you. I'm in our smart grids team, and we drive most of the innovation as it relates to REV and becoming a DSP. Okay, Energy Smart Community. Has anyone heard of the ESC, Energy Smart Community? No, great. Well, hopefully you all learned some today and want to follow the work that we're doing. So the Energy Smart Community is located in Ithaca, which is at the south end of Cayuga Lake, technically the southern tier region of New York State. And it's beyond just the city of Ithaca, it's within Tompkins County. And we chose to locate our ESC there because it's a very highly engaged, very energy-informed and educated community. They have a very progressive energy roadmap for the county. I believe it's 80% greenhouse gas reduction by 2050 with a focus on local renewable energy generation and demand reduction. So it's a very engaged, focused, and ambitious community. It also has it's the third in New York State for solar investment per capita. And of course, it's home to Cornell, as well as Ithaca College. But as it relates to Cornell, we are a part of a National Science Foundation grant with Cornell University. And it also gives us opportunity beyond that NSF grant to really be exposed to integrating rigorous research into the work that we're doing. And so what is the ESC? It was a part of our last rate case, May 2016. It's not technically a REV demo, but I know National Grid has their version of being the DSP with Opus One, but this is our version of DSP 1.0. We chose to focus in this small scale environment because it allows us to move quickly, iterate, test to inform our overall long-term strategy as the DSP, which, our implementation plan was 200 pages, but I think Rev Connect is consolidating it for any of you who are interested in doing more research on our 5-year plan as it relates to being the DSP. But as it relates to the Energy Smart Community, we are about 90% done with putting in our electric smart meters. There's approximately 12,500 electric smart meters, 7,300 gas that have been put in place and are currently in the process of integrating the MDM into our other back-end systems. We are also automating the 4 substations and the 15 feeders that are within the electric footprint of the ESC. And we're also implementing an advanced distribution management system kind of in a box for this electrical footprint, which is super exciting. And the footprint is about 84% residential, 14% commercial, which is more or less representative of the rest of our service territory. And so how we've envisioned the DSP is really kind of 3 core pillars of functionality. There's integrated system planning. For example, we've had our hosting capacity map up, I believe, for the past almost 3 months for this footprint area of the greater Tompkins County area. So any developers can go there now and see the hosting capacity availability within this footprint. We also, in addition, will be doing more rigorous DER forecasts and load forecasts and working to better understand, once we have this data and analysis, how can we share it and provide it in a more accessible way to developers. And then there's grid ops, obviously, the backbone is really AMI, distribution automation, and ADMS. And then I get to lead our customer and market pillar, which I'll continue to talk to you guys in more detail afterwards, but it's really, the DSP as we envision it is grid ops, integrated system planning, and customer and market, all grounded on a core foundational technology platform that facilitates all functionalities. And then we also in the Energy Smart Community have an innovation pipeline process that we have not started to use because Rev Connect exists, as well as the battery the battery order. So we will also locate at least one of our battery demos here in the Energy Smart Community, as well as the smart home rate, which again, all utilities were ordered and tracked to. So we'll be locating our smart home rate here in the ESC also. So those 2 activities kind of complete at the current state right now, our innovation pipeline. So just overall, our objectives of creating this small-scale ecosystem, the small-scale DSP, is to really test and prove the business case for these foundational technologies that we need, and I would imagine all the other utilities in New York will need also to become that DSP, as well as understanding what are the capabilities and processes that we'll need to build out as the utility and as that DSPP to support the evolution of the DSP. I know it was mentioned yesterday, it's like, well, what year will be a DSP? And I think it will never be there and will always be there in the sense that it'll always be evolving. Testing and creating new rate designs to support system efficiency. Now that we have this AMI data, how can we best use it to benefit the customers as well as the network? Identifying new ways to create value for customers, new ways of engaging with the market. Really also a focus on collaboration, both with our local stakeholders as well as other state stakeholders. And also, really making sure that the data that we're gathering from this 2.5-year pilot and beyond can help support and inform clean energy policy, both at the local level as well as at the state level. So I'm here to talk to you guys in more detail about what we call the customer platform. As I mentioned, it's part of the customer market pillar, and the market is still evolving. So we've been really focused on building out that platform that can be ready to engage and participate with the market when it's there. So we'll have an energy manager, which will really be that first entry point for customers to realize the value of their AMI. And the energy manager will allow customers to see, obviously, when they're using their electricity, as well as provided a disaggregated overview of how they're using it. There'll also be tools and tips, both behavioral for them to engage with as it relates to shifting and reducing their energy, as well as programs related to our EE and DR. Also, in addition to the energy manager, not everyone goes online. So we'll also have, it's not very, we haven't termed, I don't know the label that we'll be using for customers yet, but internally it's called the Innovative Usage Report. So essentially it's taking really the meat of what's in the energy manager as it relates to the overview of the customer's usage and various tools and tips, and providing it to them in print form, which they will get quarterly, because printing and shipping or mailing is expensive. But at least making sure that all of our customers, whether they go online or not, have access to this information and have the opportunity to use it if they choose. We also have what we call customer analytics and segmentation. We've done a baseline survey, various focus groups, as well as in-depth surveys. We have an ethnographer working with us. And so all of these different research, both qualitative and quantitative, are being pulled together to segment our customers, both residential and non-residential. And it's going to be exciting to test it out. As you can imagine, Tompkins County, as we mentioned, Ithaca is not all of upstate New York, so it's important for us to make sure that we're serving these customers and developing our programs in a way that it's successful, but also at the same time understanding how it's different for the rest of our customers throughout our service territory. So we're also making sure that we're gathering data at the same time from the rest of our customer footprint to understand the differences of the customers in the ESC compared to the rest of our service territory, to make sure that these investments are truly scalable. We also filed a time of use tariff that if anyone wants to comment on, I think you might still have time, I'm not sure. But we held 2 different rate collaboratives for that, but it's really based on providing customers price signals. So our first rate will be focused on system efficiency, and will be more of a peak price on the delivery side for both residential, and all of our service classes actually will have the opportunity to participate. So right now it's 4 to 6 for residential and 2 to 6 for non-res, and then exposed to day-ahead supply. And we're excited to, I know there's been a lot of other TOU rate pilots throughout the country, and we're doing our best to leverage lessons learned there, but also excited to see how ours is potentially different. And as I mentioned, the system efficiency, all the utilities have filed system efficiency EAM. So this is a great opportunity for us to test, this as a tool to support that system efficiency target. And then we have an energy marketplace, which I think all the utilities in New York have. And we're just launching on Monday, NYSEG Smart Solutions, which is both products, so customers can go in and get an instant rebate on a smart thermostat, for example, and at the same time enroll in one of our demand response programs. We also have been working with local and regional DER developers. So we have residential solar, community solar, and energy efficiency. So this part of the market, we've had separate demos both on the service side, the product side. So what we're doing in ESC is we're combining both product and services, and it's also within the marketplace that customers will be able to green button connect or equivalent their data with developers. And sorry to mention, also in the Energy Manager, customers will be able to green button download their data as well as share. So we'll have different options for customers to be able to share their data directly with developers as they choose. Obviously, it's their choice. We're not doing it for them. And so why are we doing this? I guess to kind of go back to the last slide, I think all of those, go back. None of these are unique. Many other companies have energy managers and have segmentation strategies and testing out rates and have a marketplace. But I think what's really exciting about what we're doing is it's much more of a systems approach. So essentially, both really how can we stack the value for the customer, and at the same time, stack the value from an efficiency and effectiveness point of view as it relates to creating value for the network at the same time. And so that's where we feel we are being really at the forefront as it relates to this new DSP platform of really integrating all these different programs and understanding, based on these investments that we're making in platforms, how can they most effectively serve both the network as well as, the customer. And, wrong direction. Okay, so why we're doing this is really, what is the strategy that we've envisioned for the customer portion of this larger platform that we're building out. And I think the two main parts that we've identified so far, and of course this is a pilot, so we might be readjusting this in a year and a half, is customer relationship and value to the customer. And so as it relates to the customer relationship, in our baseline survey as well as other surveys, customers trust us. They trust us to provide reliable, safe, affordable energy. And they also trust us to protect their information. And so how do we extend that relationship with them to also be trusted as an energy advisor? And really that's kind of one of the first pieces of really deepening that customer relationship that we've had for many, many years. And Ithaca Gas and Light is the oldest company within the overall NYSEG and RG&E company, and it was founded in 1852, and it served 23 customers. So, we've been around for a long time, but it's really important to continue to build and deepen the trust that we have with our customers, especially as we expect them to trust us to provide them the other new types of products and services as it relates to what this platform is. The other piece related to customer relationship is seamless experience. So much of what I've talked about, some of it already exists in our EE programs or DR programs. We're creating new, opportunities for customers to engage, but how do we make sure that experience is truly seamless? We're all used to being consumers in this digital world, and we expect it to be fast and easy. And right now, I don't know if many utilities programs would be considered fast and easy. So there is a lot of back-end work that we're doing to really try to make sure that the customer experience is truly seamless in the world that we now live in, that it is truly digitized. And so I think we're making progress for sure, and we'll be listening to our customers, obviously, to hear if they would agree with us once we launch our projects. And then value, so relevant offerings. And different customers have different value drivers. Some people care about saving money, and some people care about making a difference in the world, whether it's environmental or community-based. So, we've been doing a lot of work to really understand what are the value drivers for customers. If you consider your utility bill, it's not significant. In many cases, people spend more money on our cell phone bill or internet and cable bill. And so how do we make sure we tap into that connection that they have with us as their utility related to their energy consumption? And also another portion of the value is customized solutions. So with our segmentation, with the AMI data, we can make sure that we're providing customers with solutions that make sense to them, and making sure that it's not just this commodity one size fits all, but making sure that if we're spending all of this money in a significant amount of time, we need to make sure that the solution for the customer makes sense for them and is customized to their needs. And that's also a communication aspect as well, is really having customized communications for the customer based on those value drivers and that solution itself. So the platform is really exciting and it's a lot of work, but if you don't engage your stakeholders, you really lose the opportunity to transform what we all know the utility to be today and to become that we all aspire to be tomorrow. And so we've, through the process, again, we've just done our smart meters. Our customer platform will start to go live, a portion of it next week. The AMI data for Energy Manager won't be live until mid-December, then time of use rates in the first part of the new year. So the stakeholder engagement to date has been more around smart meters and AMI. We've had, I think, about 15 public meetings to communicate what we're doing with the local communities. And it's really, we've realized through this process, it's truly a core part of this customer platform strategy. And so some examples of local organizations that we have or are in the process of engaging with as stakeholders, Heat Smart Tompkins, they led the Tompkins Solarize campaign. They're also focused on other energy efficiency initiatives. We don't have a defined relationship with them, but we're in discussions of how can we align our efforts? How can we leverage this platform that we're investing in to also support the objectives that you have as a local organization in the energy space? Tompkins County Climate Production Initiative, we've presented a lot of our research to date. We've gotten feedback from them, usually about 50 very, very well-educated energy professionals or advocates show up. So they ask us a lot of great questions and push us, and it's been a great opportunity for us to engage with that local organization that really wants us to be successful, and they can then therefore become an advocate for us. Cornell Cooperative Extension is really our kind of community education arm. They work with us and for us. They're obviously an independent organization, but they have a lot of trust in the community as that third-party local community organization. And so I think we've tabled at maybe 20 local events, and as well as they've supported some stakeholder engagement meetings and focus groups. And so we've really leveraged them as this kind of external education arm to help us engage these stakeholders with appropriate information, as well as to make sure they feel as though they have someone they can share their concerns or questions with. As I mentioned, we're a part of a National Science Foundation grant with Cornell. It's through the Atkinson Center for a Sustainable Future. And so beyond our NSF grant, looking at how can we use that touch point into Cornell as an avenue to engage and receive research that they're doing and insight, as well as share with them data and information that we have that could be valuable for research that hopefully will benefit all of us in this room. And we're also in the process of looking at an LMI project within the ESC. Get Your Greenbacks Tompkins is an example of looking at, again, a local organization that already works in the community, that already is focused on LMI energy-related opportunities. How can we leverage them as an organization to really align efforts and have wins on both sides? And so lessons learned so far, 29 seconds. Okay, so customers need to be validated. You need to listen, and so we've been able to reduce our opt-out rate to well below 1%. But there was some work to be done, and customers need to be heard. Community advisors can really help mitigate misinformation. There was an article about our time of use rates, which was very not accurate. And so how do we use local advisors who really want us to be successful, going back to those Tompkins County energy goals? You know, they want us to be successful. So how do we make sure that we build those relationships so when there are situations of misinformation, they can help be advocates to provide the more informed point of view? Internal education is also really important. You know, we're this little ecosystem within a much larger company. How do we make sure that all the touch points with customers are informed with what we're doing? Because this is really a new world, and we're expecting a lot more from our customers as it relates to engagement. And so we need to be ready to you know, give them that much more information. We can't be all things to all people. So, you know, just making sure that some customers just want affordable, safe power, and that's awesome. And some customers want more. So how do we make sure that we focus on both and really use the limited resources that we have beyond safe, affordable power to the customers who want more from us, and really making sure that you have a strong presence in the community. So holistically, there's many different layers of how people are learning about us, getting excited about the work we're doing, so they feel like they're a part of it as well. And that's it.
Okay, thank you so much, Drury. Done. So, Drury, thank you so much for that. We're just about out of time, but I am going to ask one question. Then I would encourage everyone who asks questions on the app to find Drury afterwards. Just do you plan to expand the project to include two-way communication devices to households? That was a big ask. So that might be a quick yes or no. It's coming. It's not.
Yes. So the smart meters are being enabled, so it can be turned on, and that is a part of the future. However, it's, you know, right now we're focused on a lot of integrations, getting the platform live, and making sure that so that's in the future.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.